What is up, and welcome to the Talking Smack show. Heading into night 2 of WrestleMania, we knew John Cena was coming to destroy professional wrestling. Can you believe it? The career that gave him everything. He is coming back to take it home. He said he was going to win the belt and he was going to take it home so no one could win it again. We also had Io Sky defending her belt against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. We had a fatal four-way of Bron Breakker defending the Intercontinental Championship against Penta, Finn Bálor, and Dom Mysterio. We had Randy Orton waiting for a mystery opponent as Kevin Owens had sadly been injured, cancelling their match. We had Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest and more. So the show kicked off. Not the order that I was expecting it, but we kicked off with a massive triple threat. Io Sky coming out first. Again, the disrespect on her. She's the champion. She's supposed to come out third, in my opinion. But there we go. So Io Sky came out first. Then we had Bianca Belair with girls skipping again because it worked once. So let's just keep doing it again. And we had Rhea Ripley coming down looking sick. The entrances, the first few entrances, anyway, my God, you could see Triple H's greasy paws all over them. She came out wearing like a crown of human finger bones. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. But yeah, so that's the look she went for. Io Sky demanding some respect. She went Will Smith on them right off the bat, trying to slap the shit out of them like they were Chris Rock taking the piss out of Jada Pinkett Smith's bald, shiny head. There is a standard rule in any triple threat match where two of the wrestlers must climb up the turnbuckle and the third must do a backbreaker onto all three of them. And we got that. Lucky us. There were some great spots in the match. It was really fast-paced. It was wild, like non-stop adrenaline all the way through it. Bianca Belair did a 450 splash, which was sick. Io Sky took a kick from Rhea Ripley, like almost like a claymore, and she sold the shit out of it. She looked like she had been blasted off of this earth. She sold it almost as well as Damian Priest sells Drew McIntyre's claymores. It was pretty cool, I thought. Rhea Ripley looked really strong throughout it. It was incredible. At one point, Bianca Belair, as you'd expect, slapped the shit out of Rhea Ripley with her braid. It was sick. And then she delivered the KOD onto Ripley. However, Io Sky was on the turnbuckle and she then delivered the moonsault onto Bianca Belair while she was getting the cover and got the victory. I was so pumped. I was desperate for Io. This wasn't the one match that I was most desperate for, but I was pretty desperate for Io to win this belt. She is cool as anything. Turns out she has an incredible bum as well, which just gets her more points in my book. And she needed to come out of this strong, and she did. She got a clean victory, the little gangster. I was absolutely thrilled. So next up, we had Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a street fight. Now, normally I always think like you have to have had a normal match first for a street fight to seem like worthwhile, if that makes sense. Like it's supposed to be the culmination of hatred, but if this wasn't a street fight, I don't think it would have really been big enough for the WrestleMania card. Somewhat similar to the New Day versus War Raiders. Like it would just look like a SmackDown match, if that makes sense. So it was cool. It was crazy. The entrances were sick. Drew McIntyre came out with like, I think it was to do with the game Doom, but I'm not really a gamer, so I don't know too much. But I saw adverts for that during the match or after the match. It was like a rock made out of robot skeletons. He looked like a techno Viking, and then Damian Priest. He came out with the guitarist to Slayer playing his entrance music. It was literally like Triple H was just getting out all the ideas he had for entrances that he was going to do had he not retired, and just vomited them all over this WrestleMania to start off with. But it was sick. I really enjoyed it. At one point during the match, Damian Priest tried to uncover the turnbuckle and couldn't work out how to do it. Like how you can become a professional wrestler. It seems like there's just a bit of rope and you pull it off, but it was too much for him. So he planted a chair in the corner of the ring instead. Drew McIntyre had set up some tables outside. At one point, Damian Priest tried to do his old school move that he's added to his arsenal, and Drew McIntyre just shoved him off the rope, and he fell out of the ring and through the tables, which was a pretty cool spot. At one point, there was another table in the ring. Damian Priest did the razor's edge through the table, and it was perfect. I really, really enjoyed it. And then we had... what else did we have? Then Damian Priest got dragged back into the ring after being thrown out through the tables by Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre planted him up against the chair, and he delivered the God, my mind's gone blank. The Claymore into Damian Priest and into the chair for the win. And then at the end, what was pretty funny was the referee was checking on Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre dragged the referee away to raise his arm in victory. So, yeah, it was a really, really fun match. I hadn't really been pumped for that match, but it was really nice. But I think probably I would like this rivalry to have a line drawn under it. Moving on, maybe we could have Drew McIntyre. I don't know who he hates. He hates everyone, seemingly. I don't think he's built up at the moment to be going for one of the main belts, particularly with who the champions are. I don't think he'll go back to Raw to challenge Jey Uso. And so I think he's going to be in sort of no man's land for a little while longer. I don't think the Intercontinental or the US titles would be right for him. So I don't know what we're going to see next from Drew McIntyre. In terms of Damian Priest, I think he's a face now. He could potentially go for the Undisputed belt. He could probably go for, I think maybe the US belt might be more appropriate, and be, if Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu don't fall out yet, perhaps Damian Priest could be Jacob Fatu's first opponent for the US title. I think that would work pretty well. But I'm not sure. Next, we had the Fatal 4-Way, which was Bron Breakker defending the Intercontinental Gold against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dom Mysterio. Now, this is the match that I was the most excited for on the night, I would say. I really, really wanted Dom to win. I've become a massive Dirty Dom fan in the last year or so. Like, he has just, the way he's developed, the way he's managed to like generate genuine heat, the way he's just really started nailing that sort of like cheating scumbaggy line story. Like he's just brilliant. I love Dom Mysterio. So he came out with a luchador mask and couldn't take it off, which was quite funny. They were talking about how he hadn't earned the mask from his dad yet. Who cares? Like, Dom has earned it. I'm sure, like, in reality, Ray must be so proud of Dom, the way he's developed and grown. Like, when you think of him being that goofy kid tagging with his dad to now being one of the biggest, like, pure, true heels in wrestling, it's just remarkable. So the match kicked off. Bron Breakker. So there were Penta was fighting outside, and Bron Breakker. I think Penta took out Finn and Dom outside, and Bron just flew out of nowhere. Like, he must have been 6 foot in the air, shoulder tackling Penta. It was a crazy beginning. Dom and Finn were working together for a large amount of the match, and But Dom saw an opportunity with Finn facing away, and Dom drop kicked him and then went to deliver the 619. However, Finn caught him and then he snapped. He started stomping the shit out of Dom until he was pulled off, I think, by Penta. Penta delivered the Mexican Destroyer to onto Dom, but Carlito pulled Penta off and dragged him outside. And then Carlito was setting Penta up onto the table, and Bron speared Carlito through the table. It was, again, just sick. Like, Bron Breakker is insane. I love Bron Breakker so much. He's so exciting. And then we had, sorry, just reading the comments as it's going on. And then after that, we had Dom deliver the frog splash on Finn as he went for the pin. So we had Finn delivering the coup de grace, and then Dom delivered the frog splash onto Finn and won the belt. Dom got a massive cheer. It was crazy. Like, when you think how hated Dom is, I think he probably got the biggest cheer of the whole night. It was pretty sick. And then he walked away, and then he ran back to the ring to really like celebrate the moment, and he got another massive pop. It was brilliant. And then after the match, they were sort of the commentators were stood by the broken tables, and Wade Barrett went, "There's mess everywhere." He seemed genuinely irritated by the broken table, which was just another pretty funny moment. So I spoke about this on my predictions. I think we're going to have Finn Balor is going to disappear for a while. Dom is going to go full Eddie Guerrero, lying, cheating, and stealing his way to Intercontinental title reign for a few months. I think Penta is just going to carry on being like a mid-card guy. He'll probably have some involvement in the AAA crossover shows. And I think I don't think Bron is going to win the title back for a third time. I think Bron is probably going to move on to being a title challenger for the world title. And by next WrestleMania, he is going to have won the world heavyweight belt, in my opinion. So who's going to be kicked out of Judgment Day, Dom or Finn? I think that Finn is going to be just disappear for a while. And I think we're going to have, for a while, Raquel, Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Dom and Carlito. And then I think Liv is going to split up with Raquel, and we're going to have Dom and Liv being the mainstay and Carlito dipping in and out. But I don't think Carlito's going to really be like a proper member. He's going to be more in his sort of manager role moving forwards. But I am just so pumped for Dom. Like, it's brilliant. So next we had Randy Orton versus his mystery opponent. Randy Orton came out with just the right amount of baby oil, waiting for an opponent. And we had, "I Believe in Joe Hendry." And Randy Orton looked quite shocked at first. But what I found particularly funny was when Joe Hendry got in the ring, and we could see the comparison between Joe Hendry and Randy Orton. Like, compared to a normal man, Randy Orton is fucking enormous. You forget that he's 6'5" and just an absolute monster. Amongst all the other wrestlers, he looks like a normal guy, but he is huge. I'd totally forgotten that he is a big, big dude. So Joe Hendry loved the moment. To kick things off, Randy Orton went for an RKO. Joe Hendry managed to wriggle out of it and try and roll him up, but Randy kicked out. And then at one point towards the end, Joe Hendry delivered, I think it was an Oklahoma Slam, and he, instead of going for the pin or carrying on the attack, he spun around, gave his little wink, and then out of nowhere, RKO, 1, 2, 3. Randy won. Randy helped him up afterwards, congratulated him, let him get his flowers, raising him up to the ring, to the fans. And then, as you would expect, another RKO. And that is how we had Randy Orton's 5-minute WrestleMania, 20th WrestleMania match. And I loved it. It was nice little moment. Like a playful Randy Orton is my favorite form of Randy Orton. Like he just takes the piss and loves life. Next, we had AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. As expected, it felt like a very, very choreographed match. Most of Logan Paul's seem to be that way. However, it's not AJ Styles' most choreographed match in history. For all the haters out there, we have to remember that AJ Styles had that match against The Undertaker, which was the weirdest fucking thing in the world. What the fuck that was. So let's not jump on to Logan Paul too much. As expected, someone off of YouTube, I don't know who any of these people are, tried to screw over AJ Styles. He went to slip the brass knuckles into the ring while both AJ and Logan Paul were on the floor. And then, of all people, Karrion Kross showed up and stopped him, took the brass knuckles, and AJ Styles hit the YouTube guy, sent him on his way. Now, this is where things pissed me off. Karrion Kross was trying to persuade AJ Styles to use the brass knuckles. Fair enough, use them, don't use them, whatever. We don't care. AJ Styles took the brass knuckles through them. Why the fuck did he have to hit Karrion Kross? Like, for me, that was AJ Styles being a dick. And then he got back in the ring. And I was glad when Logan Paul hit him with that one lucky punch and then delivered that beautiful pulverizer to get the win. I went into this match wanting AJ Styles to beat up Logan Paul. We went out of this match where I was glad that Logan Paul got one over on that little arsehole. Fuck you, AJ. Fuck you. So next up, we had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria and a mystery opponent. I think once we found out that Bayley wasn't taking part, most people really guessed that it was going to be Becky Lynch. Like, we'd heard she was back. We'd seen she was backstage for Seth Rollins last night. They're both from Ireland, obviously. Like, there was a lot of reasons why it was going to be Becky Lynch. They spoke about how Liv had been taking the piss out of Becky because she was the last opponent to fight Becky and she'd been saying that she had retired her. The match wasn't like all that really. It was short and not much going on, to be honest. Ultimately, Becky delivered the manhandle slam to Liv Morgan for the win. I thought that they were going to probably drop their belts. At first, I'd hoped that they wouldn't, but I thought that Liv and Raquel would drop their belts. Now what I hope is that Liv goes on to take the Intercontinental belt off of Lyra Valkyria so that I think her and Dom having matching belts would be the sweetest storyline in WWE history. And also, just got to mention it because I'm a bit creepy sometimes. Liv Morgan in red leather. It deserved a moment. So last but not least, we had John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And I hadn't been reading the comments from about that match before because I was just waiting to get to it. But as expected, we had John Cena winning the belt, taking home his 17th world title. Like, pretty incredible. Michael Cole was playing the face on commentary, saying that he had won it in a dirty way. But Wade Barrett pointed out that Ric Flair had not won all of his 16 belts being clean, so it didn't really matter. John Cena is a record breaker. The match was pretty interesting. Like, John Cena really showed that it was really interesting, like him obviously being a heel and wrestling with a different personality. Like, he didn't have that high intensity, high octane, bam, bam, bam. He was very methodical, slowed it down, was just talking shit to Cody all the time. He went for an AA. He did an AA off the turnbuckle. He delivered another attitude adjuster, and it wasn't enough to keep Cody down. He went for the STFU. Cody was dragging his way to the ropes. Cena pulled him back into the middle. Same thing happened. Cena pulled him back into the middle again. Cody kicked Cena off into the referee, delivered the crossroads, but there was no one to help to count the pin. Then Travis Scott showed up. It was weird. Like, it was the slowest walk down. Cena was laughing like a madman, like the plan had come together. No sign of The Rock, which annoyed me as well. And Travis Scott came out. Cody called him into the ring. He delivered the crossroads to Travis Scott. However, John Cena was holding the belt, ready to smack the shit out of Cody. Cody managed to pull the belt off of Cena. Then Cena begged for mercy. Cody obliged, went to throw the belt onto the floor, and Cena kicked him in the nuts, picked up the belt, knocked his head off. 1, 2, 3. We have John Cena winning the World Championship. Buffet Destroyer said, good thing Cena won, that he's bringing the belt home. The belt is ugly, so it's fine if he takes it with him. I agree. I loved the black one, which Roman Reigns had originally. I didn't like the red or blue version, but the plain black one was clean. The gold one for the Tribal Chief looked so stupid. I would love John Cena to bring back the spinner for his reign, and then whenever he eventually loses it, like, we could introduce a new belt after that would be my preference, but who knows what we're going to have. So moving forwards, I think Cody is going to basically go on holiday for a while. He had an injury, I think, like around January time, and never took any time off for it, so he probably needs to rehab that as well. I think John Cena's next opponent, my prediction is CM Punk is going to move to SmackDown, and I think he will be John Cena's challenger for the next couple of months, or maybe we'll have like some jobber, maybe like LA Stars or something like that, and then CM Punk moving into WrestleMania. I think Cody will be gone for a while, and when he comes back, I think he will be the one to dethrone John Cena eventually and retire John Cena. Although I think we'll probably have Randy next, actually, versus Cena, but I don't think Randy will take the belt. I would love Randy to be the one to retire John Cena, though. Like, their history, they're very close. They basically were the same. They were sort of like the way that Triple H and The Rock and Stone Cold were entwined. Really, we had like Cena and Randy and a few others entwined in their stories. It would be brilliant to do that, but I think it'll probably be Cody that retires John Cena as the face to run the place moving on. I thought the first night of WrestleMania was better. The second night, I thought the first couple of matches were really good, but it just didn't hold up for me. Whereas I thought the first night of WrestleMania, it got better and better as it went along. But overall, I'd say pretty solid WrestleMania. I loved I think it was 39 when we had Roman Reigns versus Cody the first time. And then like sort of the culmination of the Bloodline story last year. I thought it was a shame The Rock wasn't here this year. Like, he sort of orchestrated this whole story and then hasn't showed up, which has been disappointing. But it'll be interesting to see what happens on Raw tonight. I think we're going to have not Raquel Rodriguez, sorry. What's she called? Roxanne Perez is obviously going to come up. I think we're going to have Fraxium come up. I don't think Trick Williams is going to come up. On NXT, I think the men's singles are pretty weak right now. So I don't think we'll have any of them come up. I do think we'll have Roxanne Perez. I would be very happy if Julia came up as well. But that is it. WrestleMania is over and out.